Buy this game. Do it. It's not difficult. It's right there. It's on Steam, it's on Xbox, it's on Switch. It's not on PS4 yet, but it's been rated. They're probably going to release it alongside the DLC. My point is, buy the fucking game, man. Do it. Did you buy it yet? No? Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm gonna have to spend the next fucking few days or fucking weeks of my life making a half-hour video convincing you to buy this. You know what, fuck it. I've got nothing else to do with my time other than revise for exams, which, fuck that? No. I'm gonna do this instead. This is more important to me. Not for, the rest of my life, but I'm rambling. I'm fucking rambling. I'm making this. Sit your ass down, get yourself a drink or a fucking snack, and listen. Or I will break into your house and kill your dog. Comfy? Good. Now, let's start from the beginning. You start up. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you are. All you know is that you gotta kill some motherfuckers, which, that's what you do in video games. That's fair. But as I'm going to explain to you, your name is Zero. You're a dude wearing a bathrobe, walking around with this fucking katana, and you work for your therapist, and you kill people for him, because I think he works for the government or some shit. I don't know, it doesn't matter, but basically, you are on fucking drugs, and that somehow means you can see into the future and slow down time. So that's good for you, bad for literally everybody else. So you go through, you kill some dudes, you learn the mechanics, you can jump, you can roll, you can slash dudes with your fucking cool-ass sword. Your slow down time shit is very useful. You can use it to block bullets and use it to walk through this fan, which is a cool way to demonstrate it, but this never comes up. From what I can remember in my 5 playthroughs of this game, you never roll through any other fans, so I don't know why they even bothered to add that shit in. But you get to the end of this level after rolling through some lasers and shit and killing some dudes, and there's a guy here. He's the dude you're there to save. He seems chill, he seems cool, he seems nice. So you think you're in for an escort mission because this man's got a health bar. You walk along, but suddenly his head fucking explodes, and there's some Russian dude. His name's V, by the way, and basically you gotta kill the dudes who are coming at you, which you could use your sword, you could do it the cool way, or you could just turn on the lasers as they're running towards you and kill them that way. That's what I did, because I figured it out, because I'm smart, I'm big-brained, I'm genius, and then you can just run out the level. I mean, I know that's the lazy way to do it, but at the same time, it's cool that they even have that there. You could, just get good at the game, or you could just cheat. Because fuck 'em. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice about this game is A, the music fucking slaps, and B, it's got that nice VHS neo-noir aesthetic. It's nice, it's good, it's Hotline Miami, except fun. I'm kidding, I like Hotline Miami, but still, this game's better than Hotline Miami, and if you disagree, I will fight you. I don't care if I'm a weak son of a bitch. If I'm fighting for Katana Zero, I will kick your ass. Also, you may or may not have noticed that I'm playing the game kind of fast. I'm going through it speedy. And, that's because it's my 5th playthrough, and I've gotten kind of good at the game. I'm not going to call myself the best in the world, because there's speedrunners for that, but I'm good enough to beat it in an hour and a half, and considering my first playthrough was 6 hours, I'm proud of that. I've actually improved, which is something I haven't done in most games, so I'm proud of myself for that. Anyway, back to the point. So, now, it's time for your first therapy session, which should be, as the name implies, very therapeutic, and it can be, but while you did get one of these earlier, this is your main introduction to the dialogue choice in this game, which basically consists of either clicking as fast as possible and ending up being very rude. You can be nice, which is what I usually go with, just because even though I'm a total prick in real life, I don't like offending video game people, because they're very good at making them sad, and it's just like, yeah, it's not very fun. Then there's just the option of either avoiding the subject or just generally not being very sociable, which would be more reflective of me, because I'm bad at that. But yeah, that's how the dialogue in this game works, and it can lead to some very charming interactions, which I will talk about later. During your therapy session, you talk about just general shit that's happened to you. At the beginning of the game, you have a dream, and these are recurring. You'll occasionally get hallucinations. That tends to be what you talk about, and these are pretty plot important as they tie into sort of the big twist near the end, which I will be spoiling in this video, but not until right at the end. I'm going to be spoiling it when we get to it in the chronological order of the game. So if you don't want spoilers, I'm going to be putting a timestamp somewhere for where the major spoilers happen, like the major plot shit. And yeah, if you're still down with that, then good. So, after your minute or so of either, pissing off or being very compliant with your therapist, he gives you them sweet, sweet drugs, otherwise known as Chronos when you find out its name later on. And yeah, this shit's just kinda cool for a bit, but later on in the game, we're gonna be seeing what withdrawal symptoms for this are like. And if regular withdrawal symptoms can, basically nearly kill you, imagine, the scale of that when it's a time-manipulating drug. That shit's intense. We're gonna talk about that when we get to it. Now, when you go out, this man's giving you a nice little dossier with some information in it, which is how you get your missions throughout the game. These are from the government, apparently, it seems, considering the villains seem to be very much against the government, but later in the game, you're not exactly compliant with them either, but your therapist is just working for them, I guess, which, why have a government working therapist? I feel like that's not gonna end well, just because, governments can be shady, man. I mean, regular therapists can be shady, but you know what I mean. Or you don't, and I'm just being fucking stupid. Now, once you're at the location of your next target, you are faced with a dialogue challenge. You get to the front of this hotel where this man is staying with his high security, and you meet the receptionist, who, she seems like a nice lady. I don't know, it depends with what options you're going with, which is what I love, because you got 3 options here. The first option that I picked on my first playthrough was the simple one. You say, you're just there for the showers, and she believes you, because, you're a man wearing a bathrobe. Sure, you got a sword, but, who doesn't bring their sword in the shower with them, right? That's not just me, right? And yeah, so option B is, still fairly simple one, but it's nice, where you can say it's cosplay, and you're a dude from a very obscure anime, and she says she loves cosplay, and then she starts flirting with you, which, goddamn, we have found the first woman in the world who is into weebs. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We gotta go on a quest to find this lady. But yeah, she flirts with you and then lets you in after telling you her apartment. Which, goddamn, should have gone for that, bro. Anyway, the third option is just saying, let me in. She gets very offended, but you get to go past anyway, because she doesn't get paid enough to deal with that shit. So, you get into the hotel, you do your usual thing, you kill a guy in an elevator, but then they raise the alarm, which that's just rude. I'm just trying to do my job. I know your job is to stop me from doing my job, but how about we just agree to let me kill you and your boss? So you go through the level, and it's a bit more challenging than the first level, obviously, because it's the second level, but also, unlike the first level, where you could cheese the guys with the guns by just making them run into lasers, now you actually have to encounter them and deal with them, and find a way to do that. So your options are to either roll under their bullets and then stab them, or there's the fun one, of hitting their bullets and hitting them back at them and killing them that way, which is the most fun shit. And I think my favourite thing in this game, or one of my favourites, is just nailing that bullet deflection while not using the time slowdown mechanic. Like, just getting that shit on point is so satisfying. Like, you gotta try that shit. You gotta believe me, it's great. You can also do just generally cool tricks, like throwing a weapon at one guy and then slicing the other, which that footage should be on screen right now. If it isn't, editing Stan, what are you doing, man? Get your shit together. So, after a bit, you get to your target, and, he mentioned some stuff to do with the war that you fought in, because the whole thing in this game is it takes place a few years after a war that you supposedly fought in, but you've lost your memory due to head trauma, so all you have is a medal, which, if someone just gave me a medal after I lost my memory and said I fought in a war, I probably wouldn't believe them, but, who's to say what Zero believes? Me, because I'm the one who does the dialogue options, but mostly him. So he says he regrets the pain he caused through you, and then he jumps off a building, because he doesn't want to give you the satisfaction of killing him yourself, which, I respect that. If you got to pick between going out on your own terms and going out on somebody else's, yeah, that's, we only knew this guy for like a minute, but I respect him. He seems cool. Well, seemed. Now, as you're leaving the hotel, this is where your dialogue decision from earlier comes back, because the police have arrived, or at least one policeman's arrived, to arrest you, and he asks what's up with the suspicious blood, and you can respond accordingly, and depending on what you told the receptionist, you can get away scot-free, which is great, because otherwise you have to kill this dude, which, I'd rather not. But you gotta make sure what you say matches up with what you told her earlier. So say if you told her you were in cosplay, and the dude asks about the blood, you say it's cosplay, and she's like, yeah, can confirm. If you do the same thing and say it's bath products after saying you were there for the showers, she's down for it. I don't know what happens with the other options, because I haven't been rude to her yet. Yeah. Imagine not doing all the things you were supposed to do for the video. That's kind of cringe. So after this, you head home. A little girl trips over your foot because she's a fucking clumsy bitch. So you can either tell her to fuck off, or she can ask about your noisy neighbor, and you can say, yeah, that's them, not me, and she can be like, wow, they're the worst, and then you can tell her to fuck off. So then you go into your house, you have yourself a nice cup of tea, because Zero is, of course, British as fuck, unless he's not, but fuck it, it's my headcanon, he's British. I don't care. So then you just fall asleep on your couch, because you don't have a bed, which, nice, good work, I love poverty, it's my favourite. And then the nightmare happens, where the scientist does some yelling, and then you have to hide under the bed, and some dude fucking shoots him. I wonder who that dude is. Definitely won't be important later in any way. Then at your next therapist session, you get to talk about your dreams again, and depending on your options, you can either avoid the subject or actually make things clearer. You have a nice view of the situation to the point where you can somewhat tell what memory this is. But it ain't the memory you think it is, boy. Just you fucking wait. It's not the best twist in history, but I still quite like it, just because it's very well executed. Anyway, You can talk to your therapist about how you talk to the little girl for like a minute, and depending on your dialogue option, you can be like, oh, you met a girl, that's neat, and then you're like, no, it's a child, and he's like, oh, okay, and then you leave, you get in your next dossier, you gotta kill a DJ. His name's Electrohead, which, that's a sick-ass DJ name. I like it. But with the helmet vibe, I feel like he's just trying to be bloody Deadmau 5, or however you pronounce that man's name. Which, like, this game came out in 2019, dude, come on. You gotta step your game up. You gotta be a modern DJ, if DJs still exist. But yeah, you are specifically instructed numerous times throughout the mission, do not talk to this man, because you're told he's a pathological liar. But turns out he ain't a pathological liar, he just knows some shit that the government really does not want you to know. Because if you find out, they're gonna end your goddamn life. This segment of the game also incorporates stealth, which stealth in this game isn't my favourite, but it works. It's like concise and to the point. It's not overcomplicated. It's just you can blend in crowds, or you can hide behind things, and anywhere else you're out in the open. They can see you, which I like that. It works. It just works. Now, once you get backstage, you get something pretty cool, because basically, during the second level, there's some guys talking about who would win, you, the dragon. They call you the dragon, by the way, because, I don't know, that's a cool name to call a serial killer man and things. So they have a conversation about who would win in a fight, the dragon or Strong Terry. And they say, you know what? Strong Terry never skips arm or leg day. He would kick the dragon's ass. And there's a dude you kill when you get into the area you're not supposed to be in. And you could just kill him straight away and kill the next dude who comes in straight away. But if you don't, and you wait a minute, you get a dialogue box telling you that you just murdered the shit out of Strong Terry. And I felt kind of bad, because, like, oh no, Terry, he was my boy, no. I mean, to be fair, they were wrong about who would win in a fight, but still, I feel bad, man. If I knew that was Strong Terry to begin with, I would have given him the win. So you fight some more dudes with guns, you learn the mechanic of, like, filling a room with smoke so no one can see you. You fight the gun turrets for the first time, which are interesting, because they shoot 2 bullets at you, and then they need to recharge, so they're not super hard to dodge, unless you don't have any slow-mo, in which case they fire bullets fast, and so you might not live through that. But yeah, you can basically roll or jump, and then slash them, and they're taken care of. So you get backstage, you get to Electrohead, and he is clearly terrified for his life, and you can kill him instantly, or you can hear him out and hear the shit you're not supposed to say. Personally, on my first playthrough, I just ended his life, because I want to be compliant with my government. I want to be a good fucking state-serving boy for fucking daddy therapist. Yeah, so he's dead now. Should call him fucking Electro Dead. Off to hang myself now. So, depending on whether you killed Electrohead instantly or spoke to him, they're either like, woo, you did it, good job. You didn't talk to him, you killed him, very nice. Or if you just decide to talk to him instead of killing him, someone else shoots him, and you're like, hey, yo, who the fuck did that? Bruh. I'm pretty sure it was V now that I think about it, but still, at the time, I was like, god damn. So, the government's not very happy with that. They're like, why'd you talk to this man? And obviously I spoke to him because, like, man was terrified for his life. He seemed pretty chill. He was a DJ. Could have got him to DJ at my birthday, or the party celebrating how I killed everyone else. But nah, now he is dead as fuck. You also get to talk to the child again, which, like, just, I don't fucking know, man. She breaks into your house, she steals one of your toys, but then gives it back. Like, don't go stealing my shit from under my couch, that's rude. So you head out, you get your next dossier. It's a man called Fa Yuan. I've never had to say his name out loud before. But yeah, my name Fa Yuan. And you gotta go to the prison where he's being held, because he's due to be in a trial that I'm guessing you just don't want him to attend. So you head to the prison. You've been specifically told not to kill anyone else there, just him. But you get in, you bust through the door, ready to kick some ass. And everybody is already dead. Who? You don't know yet. But goddamn, like, these dudes were straight murderized by this guy. So whoever he is, he must be pretty strong. And you're gonna see he is pretty goddamn strong. He's also very fun to play as. You get to play as him later, it's nice. I'm all close to my microphone. Do you like it when I whisper in your ear? No? Okay. So now you gotta leave. Only problem, like, the entire police department is there, which makes sense, because you killed, like, every guard in a prison. That's, people are gonna show up for that. My question is, who the hell reported it, considering everyone was already dead? But, let's not talk about that. So, you gotta escape, and you can either stealth that shit, or cut them into pieces. And obviously your first instinct is to cut them into pieces, only you've been specified not to kill anyone other than Fa Yuan. And since he's already dead, you gotta sneak out. And this is one of the hardest bits in the game, honestly. Like, the thing is, once you figure out how to do the indoor sections, they're not that bad, but that last outdoorsy bit, that took me a good while to stealth. But you get an extra item for it, and also Daddy Therapist Man is very pleased with you. I love pleasing Daddy Therapist Man. Now, when you get home, the little girl comes and talks to you, and obviously you want to tell her to fuck off. Only she's got a videotape that someone has to give to you, which is kind of strange. But yeah, you go into your house, you give it a watch, and yeah, it's the Russian man from earlier, V. It's a video of him injecting your roommates, your noisy ones, with Chronos, and then, like, snipping their kneecaps and then killing them. Which, that's pretty fucked up, bro. And then it just pans over to the apartment, because they're not there anymore. And also their weed is gone, which, like, damn. Man took the weed. That's stealing and thieving. That's rude. I've been saying rude a lot in this video, haven't I? I should say that less. Then again, I feel like forcing myself to stop saying rude is kind of rude to myself. So, after watching that, you have a good night's sleep. Just kidding, the nightmare happens again. Bloody scientist gets shot again, but the guy who shot me goes over and uses some sort of machine that's there. And, I don't know what that do. I don't know what it was gonna do. It don't do nothing yet. I don't know. But yeah, then you get out of bed real nice and early, but your therapy session has been cancelled. It's been moved to tomorrow, which, like, bruh, I need my sweet, tasty drugs, bro. I need my good shit. So you leave, you're walking down the road, then it starts raining. And then Russia Boy V, he comes over in his limo, and he picks you up, and he does some tasty drugs. Not the same tasty drugs, of course, just regular cocaine, rather than shit that lets you see the future. But then you call him a subhuman piece of shit, so he throws you out. So you chase him. And then, yeah, he gets a little annoyed about that. He punches you in your face hole. So, after he punches you, you go through to this place. It's a studio, it's a movie studio. It's kind of cool, but this level is mostly more of the same. There's a couple of interesting, like, little set pieces, just because, there's, like, background shit to do with whatever movies they're shooting. And there is one section where you're riding along on, like, a minecart thing, and you have to go through the level in that, which is cool. I like it. It's a good way to mix things up. So you go through 3 floors of the studio, you fucking pick up some keys off some dead bodies, and then you use that to get into the place where V's run off to after he's punched you in your fucking face. So, yeah, you get him, and you have a boss fight. But you got a little bit of a problem, because you kind of just can't really hit him. Like, you can hit him, but he just throws you up against a wall and tries to shoot you. And after you've died a couple times, or you last long enough, there's a bit of a glitchy out shit. And then somehow he's just, like, on the fucking ground, which, like, good, finally. But then you get slashed by this chick who looks like a goddamn ninja samurai lady. Her name is Snow. She's cool. You don't get to fight her in this game, but I'm assuming that's going to be in the DLC, because, like, why wouldn't it be? But yeah, she's dope. She's cool. And when she comes at you to test your skill, you can either not flinch, go straight into your stance, or do nothing. But there's a line she says saying your stance is sloppy, which, like, on my, like, 5th playthrough, no, it wasn't. I clicked that shit instantly, so it's just stock dialogue, but she does mention how fast you are to V later. So that's kind of cool. So once all that shit's done, you head home, you're ready to go to bed, but you get a knock on your door. It's the child, because it's Halloween. She's doing her trick or treat. She's dressed like you, because, again, it's just a fucking bathrobe. But after that, you go to sleep, and you wake up, and you can't move. You have been druggety-druggetons, but not with the sweet, nice, tasty drugs, with the, oh no, fuck, I can't move kind of drugs. And there's 2 guys with the masks who aren't mentioned at the beginning of the game, and a little opening piece of dialogue that you probably saw at the beginning of this video if I left that in. So yeah. And they basically just say, you'll be given a choice in 3 days' time. You can choose the Mask of Life or the Mask of Death. And, yeah, that's going to be important. Remember that, because it leads to 2 different endings, although only really one of them's the actual ending. The other one's just kind of a thing. But, yeah, you'll see that when we get to it, so look forward to that shit. So after that, some kind of more weird shit happens. You wake up and you're already in the therapist's office, and whatever you say, he's not really listening to you, and you're like, the fuck? And then he calls you a piece of shit, and then he turns into V, and then he punches you into an alternate reality and also the future, and you try to do that shit, but then you glitch out, you're like, what the fuck's happening? And then you get injected with the Chronos, and you realize, oh shit, I'm in withdrawal from Chronos, because I missed my dose yesterday. That's kinda stinky. Also forgot to mention just the scene while you're fucking tripping out, where you go into a church talking about the effects of drugs having on you, and then you turn into the old man that you either killed or walked past earlier, who was also a veteran. I didn't talk about him earlier. He's kind of important, but more in a symbolic sense than story sense. But yeah, that shit happens, and then you get injected with the sweet, sweet drugs. So you get to the next level. It's a big old mansion, and V's there. And yeah, you fucking attack him, and he runs away, and then you fight some more dudes. And then you get to that one hallway he punched you into in your weird hallucination dream thing. And you're like, damn, I'm here. And then you go through it, and then V shows up, and you're like, damn, he is also here. So then you just fucking either block his bullet or hit him, and he runs away like a bitch. And you blow up the power generator, you slash through some more dudes, and that continues for a little bit. So after you go through a specific room in the mansion, and, you know, as I said earlier, your playthrough is not you actually doing that thing, it's precognition showing what will and won't work, and that's used in a creative way here, because when it does the replay, turns out there was some bombs on one of the doors, and you get blown the fuck up, and then you wake up, and V is there. And you have a cool segment where, like, the potential of Chronos is shown, because basically you see all the different times he shoots you. You basically continue the dialogue options until you know enough to make him not shoot you. So, for example, after a few things, you can be like, hello, V, it is me. And he's like, I did not tell you my name. 'Cause that's right, he didn't. But you're like, damn, yeah, don't be late for your date, bro. I'm not here for Kronos, I am on Kronos. What is Kronos, by the way? So then he has a little chat for you, and he shoots the other guy who's held hostage, which is bad for you, 'cause he was the guy you were supposed to kill, not him. So then this dude who's with V, Mr. Kissyface, he tells him to kill you, and he tries, but you roll out of your chair and he slashes through your fucking binds. So then you go get your sword and you kick his ass. And like, I'm not the best at this boss fight, but I've got to a point where I can do it kind of fast. It's a fun boss fight. I like Mr. Kissyface's boss fight. So after you brutally murder Mr. Kissyface by cutting off his goddamn head, 'cause that's what you do when you're cool, you see a cutscene of outside as V talking to Snow, and she's talking about, it's impressive that you managed to kill Swordman. That's pretty impressive. Less impressive that you sort of killed that guy who we needed to talk, but you know, it's all good. And then she gets a phone call from government boss man, and then she disappears into some fucking petals or some shit, like the petals go up and she goes away, which that's cool, but also they kind of make it funny, where V's like, don't do that shit so close, goddamn, those are sharp, which I kind of like. But then you throw a body through the window, and you chase after V, and he goes away on a motorcycle. But guess what, motherfucker? You get on a motorcycle, and there's a fucking motorcycle chase section where you kill other people on your motorcycle, and you fight V. He's in a helicopter, he's shooting you with missiles, he's going like boom, 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 and you're like, oh no, fuck, I'm going to die. But if you hit his bullets back at him, then you get him. And then some even cooler shit happens, 'cause you're like, god damn, bro, fucking dragon man, you suck. And then you hear a man say, he is not the dragon, and you're like, pourquoi? What? And then fucking he says, I am, and he fucking cuts off one of V's arms, and you're like, damn, I gotta run later, bitch. And then V gets his other arm cut off, which, you know, fucking sucks for him. Now, man can't jerk, and he can't use his phone. This is a double whammy of shittiness. And he also can't shoot guns at you like a bitch instead of using a sword like a cool man. Also forgot to mention, but goddamn, the real dragon looking fine. Fucking literally kill me. Do it. Chop off my arm. Do it. I'm not putting this in the fucking video. So after this, you head to a bar, and there's some veterans from the war you supposedly fought in, and they don't believe you about fighting in the war, but they have some drinks with you anyway, and this guy talks about Kronos. He doesn't know the name, but he talks about a dude who was on it, and it's like he knew what was happening in this card game we were playing, man. He knew every move, because he was on Kronos. My only question is, like, usually with Kronos, it only, like, fucking works if you somehow die in one of the alternate fucking things. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't think that's how it works, but still, like, in most situations, that's how you use it. So it's just kind of weird to see it in a non-high stakes setting and how it is used there, but you get to use it like this in some betting in a bit. So then, after you get drunk as fuck, like drunker than drunk, even more like fucking Leo DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street, like you're actually stumbling and fucking falling over and shit, and you get home, the little girl's outside, and she's saying some shit you can't understand, but basically she's asking you for help, because some bad shit's happening, but you ain't listening to that shit. You go into your house, you lay down in your bed, and you have yourself a good night's sleep. So then you wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, and then the little girl comes into your house and she's like, are you mad at me? And you're like, no, why? I was asking you for help and you weren't listening to me. Can I stay in your house? And you're like, okay, yeah, sure, you can do that. Yeah. So then you go to your therapy session and you're your therapist is real mad, but then you tell him the shit about the real dragon, and he's like, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, go do your fucking job, and if you, like, deviate from the instructions even slightly, you are dying and being replaced, and you're like, aight. Also, after having a hallucination of V, you get some more sweet, sweet drugs, because he says some shit about the withdrawal, and you're like, oh no! That's bad. So your target for this mission is the real dragon, but first, he's in the back room of a high-profile casino, so what you gotta do is you gotta do some betting to get a bunch of chips, specifically 100,000 chips. So you do a bunch of shit in a row, and you gotta do your, like, rewind thing, so you know which bet wins, and then you get all those chips, which is only 99,999, which is bad. But you go up to the dude, and he's like, damn, they don't call me Lenny the Lenient for nothing, so, go on in, homie. I'm like, thanks, Lenny, you the man. So then, you find the dragon, and he's with someone else, so the dragon runs off like a pussy bitch. And, you fight this person, and you do your thing, and they're dead. But then it does your replay, and they're not dead. And they're like, what the fuck? You were dead. And you're like, what the fuck? You were dead. What the shit? And turns out you're both on Chronos. So this is what happens when you fight someone else who's on Chronos, which is dope. I like it. So after this, you get into goddamn Chinatown, and not only is it one of the most fun levels in that goddamn game, the music slaps harder than my dad. Like, this shit just fucking goes. Just So Chinatown's cool as hell. It has some good, like, fucking layouts. There's a lot of fun challenges. There's these new drone things that fly around and shoot bullets at you, which is not fun. But then you can hit them into explosives, and they blow up and kill everyone. And that's very fun. Also, this is one of the best levels for, like, deflecting bullets while not being in slowed down time. It's so goddamn satisfying. Good shit. However, one thing that happens in Chinatown, which is not great, is the cops keep showing up in the cars. They keep just zooming up when you think you're done with the stage, and that's kind of neat. It's cool to kill them, it's fun, but then too many of them show up, and that's when some freaky deaky shit goes down. So the guys in the masks show up again. Yeah, your 3-day timer is now up. They come to you, and they ask you whether you want the Mask of Life. If you pick the Mask of Life, everyone gets to live, but you die. If you pick the Mask of Death, you are the embodiment of death. Some people gonna die around you, and that's not so cool. And one of the coolest things is if you pick the Mask of Life, you get shot, and that's it. Roll credits. You're done. But that's not what you wanted to see. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to fuck some shit up. So you go back in there, you pick the Mask of Death, and all of them just spontaneously fucking just like their insides erupt from them. They're just dead now. So you go home and you chat with the child for a bit, and then you just have yourself a nice little nap. But of course, Daddy Therapist Man isn't very happy. And, you know, that makes me feel bad, because I like him. He's nice, but he's not a big fan of what you just went and did. So, yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out. So you go home, and you watch a samurai movie with the child. She doesn't like it, because people die, and like, no, this is the good part. And she's like, ah! And you're like, shut up, bitch. And then, yeah, then you go to sleep and have your nice little nap. Except wait, I lied. You got a new videotape that's been sent to you, and it's security footage. Security footage of what? The real dragon killing everyone in that prison, including Fa Yuan. And yeah, you get to play as him, and he's so fucking cool. He has this move where he can slash through like 5 people at once by slowing down time and zooming, and it's neat. I like it. It's good. This is a bit more difficult, at least for me, but it is one of the more fun parts of the game. I really like it, and I hope we get to play as the dragon more. Someone has made a mod where you can play as the dragon for the whole game, so I might try that at some point. So now, after your nap, you're heading over to your therapy session, but then you get an anonymous tip. Leon von Alderbussen or some shit, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, you get a call about him, and they tell you where he is. So you go to that place, and that's where the next level is. But give me a second, this is the point at which I started recording a second file, just 'cause I didn't want the fucking video file to be too long, so I'm gonna go look through that now. So then you head to the bunker. It's got some cool shit, it's got some new fucking stomper things that come from the ceiling on a timer, and they can squish you, but they can also squish your enemies into nice little flat pancakes, which is sweet. There's also a sniper who is Leon von Alderbussen. If I'm saying that wrong, don't correct me, I'll just get mad at you. But yeah, that's kind of cool. The sniper mechanic, again, can kill you, but if you run into other enemies, it can kill them too, which is sweet. It's cool, it's dope, I like. So you get to a point where you go through a little test where you have to dodge stompers, then kill a bunch of guys, and then roll through lasers while dodging a sniper, and that's all well and good. And you get to the next level, and it's like, good job, you did it, but this experiment was still a goddamn failure. I'm blowing up all this chronos, and you're like, no, my drugs. But he blows up your drugs. And then you go into the next room, and it turns out all of this was pre-recorded. This is all on tapes. The shit of him firing the sniper, the shit of him talking to you. He had this laid out depending on who came after him. And turns out he's in a nice little cryo chamber, which in one of the tapes he tells you not to open it. So of course you do what any rational person would do and open that shit instantly. And he's in there and he comes out and he's like, "Ooh, hey, what up?" And then he just kind of decomposes, because I guess it wasn't a very good cryo tank. God damn. So then you get home, you speak to the child, you go up on the roof and look at the city, and she's like, "Damn, this is pretty, I want to go see all of it." And you're like, "No, we're leaving." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then you throw away your medal, and she's like, "What did you do that for?" And you're like, "I don't know." Yeah, that's good plot reasons for it. Character development. Good job. He has other reminders that he once did something good. Nice work, Zero. You did a character development. Slight problem, though. The girl mentions the men in the masks, which, like, how does she know about them? Why are they coming after her? That's that is mucho not good, bad, no. So, you go to sleep, you wake up, the girl feeds you some terrible food made of fish heads and protein paste, and then you go see Daddy Therapist, and he's very displeased, but despite this, for some reason, he sends you on a mission. It's simple, it's a bunker containing all the evidence about all the bad things, and your mission is, leave no survivors, kill everyone. Which, like, shit, man, you don't gotta tell me twice, I'm gonna do that shit. And then we get to the point where my recording stopped, because fucking, for some reason, OBS automatically records to your boot drive instead of your other storage drive, so I had to re-record these last couple levels, which was a bit annoying, but I got to play them again, which is less annoying. So, you get to the bunker, it's at bloody fucking Synergistics Research Center, that's kinda cool, and you get there, the front desk, look who it is. His receptionist lady. She's back, and she flirts with you again, and she asked if you can watch some anime together, and you're like, yeah, sure, bye. So she lets you in, obviously, but then some shit happens that I'm about to get to. So you start heading down an elevator, which is when you're introduced to this level's structure, which is you'll go through a floor of the place, and then you'll head down another elevator to the next floor of the bunker, and this'll keep going until you get to a bit where a dude fucking blows you up. So yeah, this shit's pretty cool, good level. So after the dude in the elevator does his little explode thing, you get another nightmare, then you get some quotes from the Masky Boys once you jump down the elevator shaft, and then you're on to the next bit, which is a long section where you're running down some stairs and you gotta kill all these dudes on your way down these stairs. So after another few fairly standard sections, you get to a boss with the other dude who's on Chronos, except they're in withdrawal, which is kind of doo-doo for them, but you know, who gives a shit. So you fight, they send some enemies at you, and then they'll also come out the doors the enemy is coming out of, which can disorientate you a bit, but basically after you hit them 3 times, they explode the floor, and if you jump and dodge that, you fall into a lower section, and then you get into stage 2 of the boss fight, which, as you'll come to learn, is the final boss fight of the game, because that's right, this is the end. Which, like, cool. But yeah, this boss is really good. It's quite, like, once you actually get a grip on what happens, it's quite simple. They got a few different attacks, a couple where they run at you, one where they shoot a laser that you have to roll through. After you hit them once, they bring out some turrets, which you could just let them shoot at you during the boss, which makes it more difficult. Or you could just run up to them and slash them, which is, you know, the far easier thing to do. But after you hit the enemy a few times, they drop a knife. So the next time they run at you, you throw the knife at them, and boom, they're dead. And they can say some shit to you, which you can listen to, or you can just chop off their fucking head, which I love to do. So once you kill them, use their head for a nice little retinal scan, and you get in a vault, and turns out, yeah, it's just a little family. They're scared as hell for their lives, and then you get some flashbacks to that kid who is you, and you get the option to kill him, which I just fucking spammed because I want to get this shit done with, but then you just have to run away. Your therapist, he's very mad about this. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? So then you kill him to get your drugs. Drugs. And of course, right before you kill him, he throws one of your own lines back at you, calling you fucking subhuman. Well, why would you do that at a therapist, man? I treated you right up until I murdered you. So once you kill him, you get a dossier. It's your dossier, because you just killed this man and learned where the Chronos is being made, and he don't like that. He don't want you to do that, but too bad. You did it. Fuck him. So then you get back home, and yeah, your house and the guy who lives next to you, his house got broken into, and he is dead. The little girl is gone. It's at this point you get the full version of your nightmare, your flashback. You get in there, you kill the scientist, a child hides under the bed, you swat out the machine, and yeah, you're the person who shot everybody. It's you. You did the bad, because obviously. But yeah, and you go talk to the real dragon, and that's the credits. That's it. That's the end. I know that seems a bit sudden, and it kind of is, but at the same time, the game works pretty well self-contained. There's DLC planned. There's probably going to be a sequel at some point, so it's not... The story in itself isn't over, but the game has a pretty complete ending, I would say. So that's it. The credits roll. Snow tells her boss about V being dead, and he's like, damn, guess we're going to wage war on the government. And then you get a thing of the real dragon. He's got one of those pin boards with all the photos on it, and V's dead in his goddamn bathroom. And then there's a thing of the little girl who's been kidnapped by the masked people, because also, obviously, she's like, damn, there's a bad fate in store for her. And I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. Guess we'll have to see what happens with that. So yeah, that was the story and my poor explanation of the mechanics and boss fights of Katana Zero. If this doesn't make you interested in the game, or you didn't like the video, fucking... I mean, I'm fine with you not liking the video, but at least buy the game, man. Like, if you got this far, clearly it interested you in some capacity, considering you're over 40 minutes in. Yeah, this video is a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. Right at the start, I kept saying half an hour, and nah, it's like probably just shy of an hour at this point. I don't know, I haven't edited this all together. But yeah, buy Katana Zero. Like the video if you liked it. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, I'll make something else eventually, so subscribe, ring the bell, or don't. Feel free to not leave a dislike. You won't see the dislike count, but I sure will, and I'll sure be sad about it. So yeah, that's it. It's me, Stan, But now it's no longer me, Stan, because I'm gone. Oh, once you click off this video, your idea of me ceases to exist. Goodbye.